Oh man, I thought I bugged out right there, I'm not gonna lie. No way is this working now. Oh heck yeah. So it does seem like I have to have my game audio like on my phone on in order for it to work. Yeah, that seems to quiet it down a bit. Heck yeah, man. That means now we are live streaming on both YouTube and Twitch simultaneously. Awesome. So this is great. For anybody else who's looking to stream or something, use Prism.live. It's so good. Like first, you might not have had the same issue as me, but for me, I had it so that when I had my Twitch up and everything, the audio would work as long as I was on Twitch. But as soon as I left Twitch, it stopped working. And there was no audio for me. The game audio worked just fine. It worked perfectly. But my audio was not existing. Oh yeah, this is great. The only little, I was about to say downfall, but there's not really one at all. I mean, it works quite amazingly, I'm not gonna lie. Seems pretty easy to do. I mean, I can do the chat. I can do a preview of this and how it's working, how smoothly it's going and everything. You can even set it up so like if anybody does type something in the chat, it will show up for me right here in the corner and just overlap for a second, which is amazing. 27 minutes and my AP is completely full. For my Cursed Corpse Stroll, I do actually have a timer set up for this because I don't want to waste it. But Kathy is kind of the most important one, I would say anyways, because she recovers, it recovers your AP or your energy, which I think is absolutely awesome. But it takes a total, right now mine's at, I hope this doesn't collect it for me. But yeah, right now mine's at level 4, so I get 6 every hour. My storage limit is 432. So it takes exactly 72 hours for me to max out Kathy's AP. I guess first I'll go to my formation and everything, see if there's anything I can upgrade real quick. As you can see, I'm kind of balanced with it. I try to be as balanced with it as possible because I want it so that I can do some of the harder battles for the domain investigation, I think it is. But the more characters you have for it, honestly, the better, because you have more available units to actually fight and beat them with. So I mean, like my strongest team, especially whereas my Gojo is my absolute carry unit, with him being a carry unit and everything, I kind of need him saved for the later battles. So I can't just, I'm actually going to put him, this little guy, over here in this corner, because that seems to be where all the question marks and stuff are, and I don't ever use that, where all the back buttons are in the left corner. But but with him like that, and he only lasts for 7 turns, so if you use him at the beginning, for the first one, you can probably get to the very end while still using him, but for like the second and third one, good luck. I mean, like, actually. Obviously, I have a weird amount of characters here. I mean, I got Gojo, I got Megumi, I got Panda, I got Toto, I got Yuji, I got... Man, I can't remember her name. Maki. I was thinking Mai, but I know that's her sister. And then I got Nanami. I would do a whole ranking system on who I like the best and for what reasons and stuff and what situations they're good in. But I'm not exactly the best. when it comes to setting stuff up like that. So don't expect too much, obviously. If anybody does want to type anything in chat, feel free to. I can see absolutely everything now. Except for YouTube, I don't have YouTube up too much. So that one's a little bit on the downside. But yeah, so I did want a wide variation of it, but I'll show you the teams that I'm working on right now. The first character that I chose with my free ticket was Gojo. I kind of just looked at everybody's kit. It was either I was going to choose Gojo, Nanami, not Nanami, my bad, Nobara, otherwise Yuji, all for specific reasons. Gojo just does a butt ton of damage, plus he was the only one who has an AoE, what's it called, an AoE ultimate. So that was the reason I chose him. Ultimately over everybody else. Otherwise, I probably would have chose Nobara if I would have known that I was not going to get a single yellow character at all. But what else? Yuji with just the insane critical hits after looking at his kit and stuff like that. I mean, his critical hit is insane. It applies 105.9% critical hit chance and increase and a 52.9 black flash rate increase to self for 3 turns, and recovers ultimate gauge by 191. Now, at the beginning of the game, I didn't really know what any of that meant, but I just recently summoned him the other day, I think, and it was worth it, 100%. I mean, he is really good. The critical hits are insane, along with the memory fragment I have on him, so that every time he hits a critical hit, he increases his ultimate gauge by 200, I think. So I mean, with every single one of his attacks being a critical hit, it's insane. Plus, I didn't know what the Black Flash was either at the beginning. I didn't know that it's kind of like a super critical or a double critical, so having his Black Flash rate up that high is insane. And then his ultimate ability is also really good because the first attack is guaranteed to be a Black Flash, with a 50% chance if you use his buff of the following ones being Black Flashes as well. Now, I think there is a way to bring that up with Toto. Not that one. Yeah. Maybe not. Yeah, no, and I know there's something, I don't know why it happens. I mean, it might be because of the special hidden title or something like that. There seems to be some, like, Easter eggs in the game. But using Toto and Yuji together, and then using Toto's best friend gives you a special title that is literally called My Homie, which is awesome. But for something that I've seen is that if I have Toto and Yuji back to back, and if they are best friends and Toto uses a cooperative ultimate with Yuji, that his next attack is guaranteed to be a Black Flash. Like, its percentage goes up to 100%. And it's kind of insane. Other than that, I was kind of looking around and everything, seeing different characters, and one of them stuck out. I literally got him today, and I use one of these silver shards to actually awaken him a little bit, but he is insane. applies 31% damage taken, decreased to all allies for 2 times in 2 turns. And recovers 154 ultimate gauge for them. I mean, just the ultimate gauge itself is insane. The only bad part really is that he hurts himself when he does it. So that's not the best. And it doesn't really seem like there's a way to increase his health either, which is a little sad. Because, I mean, a character like that, you kind of want to keep alive as long as possible, because that's just ultimate gauge after ultimate gauge after ultimate gauge after ultimate gauge. I mean, it's insane. The other attacks, honestly, aren't even that good. I mean, like 100%, 106 curse technique, and not bad, but he does 3% damage to himself. This one right here is pretty good. I mean, 95% chance to apply stun to an enemy is insane. Deals damage 5% to himself. I mean, that one's really good. The only thing is, it's kind of contested with this one, because right here takes cursed energy as much as this does. So, I mean, kind of not something you really want to use. This right here is actually pretty decently strong. I mean, 480% curse technique, but he does 15% damage to himself, which isn't that good. And this right here is also another one. I mean, like, you take 12% of his own HP. So, I mean, you do this 3 times, and already one of those healing memory fragments? Recollection, that's what it is. And already one of those healing recollections are completely useless. Kind of degs out. But I mean, yeah, no, the ultimate gauge recovery is insane. I mean, pretty much getting this thing up to 10, from what it seems like it goes up by about 10 each time. It's at 4 right now, which means at level 1, it was probably at like 100 ultimate gauge recovery. I mean, just by taking that into account and everything, it's still got 6 more levels, 9.9. It just might as well round it up to 10. That's 210. So it'll probably come out to around like 205 once it's at max. And that's really good. I mean, that's like, what, a 6 of... Because I think most people have an ultimate gauge of around 900. Yeah, right here. Max ultimate gauge, 1,100. So yeah, that means 5 times of that, and that's full. And that's not including attacking and everything. But yeah, attacking, breaking an opponent, killing an opponent brings up your... What's it called? Your gauge as well. Cooperative ultimates will bring it up for all friendlies. So yeah, if his is at 1,100, he's an amazing buffer. I mean, obviously for his health and stuff, you kind of do need to support him a bit in order to keep him alive, especially if you want like 3 stars on something. But if you're just trying to destroy something as quickly as possible, he's your man. Who's another one? I mean, this guy right here is not actually that good. I just had all the stuff to get him up to grade 8. So, I mean, that's the only reason he's up here, to be honest. Actually, I think I can max him out right now. Oh, nope, I didn't see that other one in the corner. Yeah, I mean, nobody else uses the materials that he did, so I figured I might as well. So, I mean, just from having Gojo with the absolute AoE, insane damage and everything, and then Yuji with the critical hit, I mean, those 2 right there are always on my team no matter what. I am trying to level up the Yuji a bit more, get him a bit stronger. So yeah, 4,000 CP. I mean, these guys are obviously stronger, but they also both have Awakening 1, so it kind of makes sense. So, I mean, that's already 3 characters that I have on my team, but like I said, he's kind of situational. Usually I do use Panda just because he does have that resurrection, which is really nice. He's a really good defensive unit, but in this game, I've kind of realized defense doesn't really mean anything, if I'm being honest. it's kind of just better to just go in with attack and just destroy the opponent as quickly as possible because, I mean, you don't want to sit there in a survival battle against things that have around 5 times your health. And I mean that legitimately. I mean, Gojo, even with his recollection fragment and everything, only has around 11k, and like an average boss has somewhere around 75. I mean, you're not winning defensively, if you're being honest. I know Gojo doesn't take damage at all, which is something. But I mean, for other characters who aren't as strong as him, you don't want to play defensively. Megumi is honestly a terrible character. There's nothing else to say about it. He's not good. And I can't say he's like absolutely terrible or anything because he's not. I mean, he's decent for the most part, but he's also not the best either. I mean, the stun is really nice. The AoE elephant is really nice. Once he does use his ultimate, he does become pretty useful, a pretty decent attack unit. But other than that, until then, he's completely mediocre. I mean, not the best unit at all, if I'm being honest. Toto, he's a good supportive attack unit. Like a disruptor almost. I mean, attacks aren't really that strong or anything, but like I said, the Black Flash guarantee when he's teamed up with Yuji is really nice. His third skill, the disruption, is really nice. The best friend counter attack is really nice. Like I said, if you're playing defensively again, I mean, that one can also work in an offensive manner too. But, I mean, it's not the best thing in the world either. Who else? Who else? Who else? Maki is. She's not even that good. I'm not gonna lie. She's kind of worthless. I mean, that's kind of a little unfair to say. I mean, she does all of her. She's a gimmick character. I mean, nothing of hers costs anything, which is absolutely amazing. But I mean, to somebody else who only does physical damage, she's outclassed. And they do about the same damage and everything, but his abilities are just way, way better. What else? Nanami is actually pretty good. I do think they nerfed him because my brother played this game, and I think his overtime used to make it so that he restored his ultimate by 200, did more damage, but he also increased his critical hit chance by 50%. I think they got rid of that and just buffed this instead because I don't remember this doing break damage. So I think that was the reason behind that. I mean, all around, I'd put him a little bit above mediocre because of that critical hit. But if I've never gotten to the 9th turn with him before, usually I'd beat things before then. So, I mean, that one kind of depends. Let's see here. There's, oh, right here. I don't remember his name. Yaga, I think. Yeah, Yaga is insane. Just from this right here, the way that he increases damage done to the enemies and decreases the damage done by the enemies, the buffs towards his own teammates. I mean, the buff isn't really too horrendous for now because I don't have it super high level. But I do believe once it gets higher up, it'll start becoming insane. So he's just an amazing support unit, but all of his attacks honestly kind of suck. So I mean, taking that into effect, and the teams that I have created. So first off, you got like the ones that I want for when bosses and stuff come around. I got a mono blue team. I got a mono green team as much as I could because I don't have enough green characters. I got a mono yellow team, also not really good. Like I said, I don't have a single SSR yellow yet. And I got a mono red team. This is about as good as it gets right now. This right here is just empty, empty, empty. We're going to come back to that one. But this right here is my most balanced team. With this one here, I tried to be as... what's it called? Well, balanced as possible. I mean, I tried having one of each element. Obviously, I can't do that because I don't have a yellow. But if I did, I would get rid of Panda completely and just say, no, I'm done with you, bro. And get rid of Panda, swap him with one of the 3 yellows that is out right now. And then I would actually keep Megumi there just so that I have a blue character once Gojo leaves. So I mean, yeah, I tried being as balanced as possible with this one right here. I think on this one, Gojo's power is around 12k with that memory fragment. Moving on to the next one right here. This is just for my events and stuff. I mean, it's literally just a copy paste of the other team. Except I have more event equipment on and stuff so that I can actually do, well, the events. Get the bonuses from it as much as possible. And then this right here is the one that I have literally just made not even 2 hours ago. The one that I've been kind of working on. I mean, obviously it's weaker than this one. I mean, this one's at 38k. This one's only at 30. And I named it Ultimate Spam because I used it once and it was like, dude, it's crazy. It's absolutely insane. I mean, with Yaga, the first thing I do, I always buff with him, buff everybody on the team. Use his memory fragment because it increases the ultimate gauge restoration by... Actually, I can just look at it, can't I? Boop. 30% ultimate gauge fill rate increase to all allies for 2 turns. And then I think this one right here is for Cursed Energy. Oh, nope. When enemy targets are in break status or when self puts them in break status, reserves. Recovers 200 ultimate gauge for self, which would be pretty good for him. I mean, only really works against bosses or something, which does make it very situational. But I'm wondering if it still counts if they're defeated as well, if that counts as breaking them. If not, oh well. If so, awesome. Oh, let's see what else. Yuji, I mean, immediately restore. I mean, use his buff with him as well. 181 gauge restored instantly. And then for him, I did put on this fragment, this recollection bit. Just because of the second one, whenever he lands a critical hit, recovers 200 ultimate gauge for himself. And like I said, every single hit that Yuji lands is a critical hit. It's always. He has a 100% chance. I mean, it's kind of hard for him not to hit a critical hit. So, I mean, that's about all I can say about that. For the Toge Inomaki, I mean, he restores it by, I think it was 150, but because of how much damage he does to himself, I did give him this right here, so he's restoring 35% HP for himself. And he can use it again after 3 turns. Sorry, not. And he can use it again after 5 turns. Which is pretty nice. I'm sorry, I'm in the middle of watching Jujutsu Kaisen 0, and like Rika just did like her hyper beam. That looks sick. And that line, just "our love is pure." That was crazy. Let's see here. So I mean, yeah, no, I did put that on him just so like, he can survive longer. I mean, like I said, once he uses his thing 3 times, he's already down 36% health. So I mean, he's already down 1% health. And if he's getting attacked by enemies and stuff like that, it makes it a little bit harder. Gojo. I used to have that one free event one, but after I got this, I put this on him. It just seemed a little bit better. I mean, as soon as he uses a skill, recovers 260 ultimate gauge for himself, can be used again after 4 turns, which means he can actually use it twice. He uses it at the beginning, and then he uses it on his 5th turn. Which means he's restoring a total of 520 ultimate gauge for himself just from that, which means he's filling it up halfway throughout his existence by himself. Now, you take into account the 30% ultimate gauge increase. I don't know if it affects that. If it does, even better. But even if it doesn't, and it only affects their attacks and stuff like that, I start the game, I use Yaga's ability. I use what's his name again? Itadori. I use Ida's buff. I use Togei's buff. And then I use his recollection with just a normal attack. And usually by then his ultimate is almost ready. And I think he only needs 900 for an ultimate. Yeah, 973. So, I mean, his does recover faster than other characters. So, I mean, just from that, his is by far the best. And then for once he leaves and everything, I do want to keep Togei alive because, I mean, even with Gojo being gone, I can still use the ultimates with all these characters a lot. So as long as I just keep Togei's health up and everything, he can help bring their ultimates up even faster. So I mean, yeah, that's about all I got for that. Don't really have anything to upgrade those characters right now. I might, yeah, I already leveled this up to 50 because I figured even once